This episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by the Farwide app, outdoor intelligence in the palm of your hand. John Sullivan's become a very important member of the team here at Steve's Outdoor Adventures. Not only is he working as a hunting and fishing consultant, but both he and Travis are taking a much larger role in the television series.
Smoked him. Hold on him again. No, he's hit. He's hit. He's right there, tipping, falling, just crushed him.
They're visiting all of the outfitter camps and different private ranches and operations that we represent so that they get firsthand knowledge of all of these locations and can speak knowledgeably to our clients when they have those conversations. Over the last 12 months, John had hunted his first elk out in Utah, where he experienced bugling bulls and shot his first bull on an aspen-covered mountainside. I don't think that I've ever seen someone so excited. Then we went to New Mexico and hunted for a mountain lion in the deep mountain snows, where he got to hear the baying hounds and shot an incredible tom. And just 2 months later, John went to the southern tip of the Baja Peninsula to hunt for a desert sheep and took his first steps toward his goal of completing the Grand Slam of Rams. John and I have hunted together in the cold, snowy springs of Alaska, and he's experienced the hot, baking sun of Mexico. And this week, John's education in the outdoor industry continues on his first pronghorn antelope hunt in New Mexico. This is a ranch that Travis and I visited 2 seasons ago. We both shot nice bucks.
Smoked him, baby, right through the top of the shoulder.
And I found out that this was a first-rate hunting operation that offered early season rifle hunts from mid to late August and provided guaranteed landowner vouchers to every hunter. So drawing a tag wasn't required. This hunt has become a first-rate trophy antelope producer for our clients, and I needed John to have first-hand knowledge of this operation.
We just got into camp, drove down from Denver, and long trip. Obviously the rifle traveled, in its bag, so we want to make sure it's still zeroed, make sure we're set up tomorrow to make a good shot on an antelope. So first thing we always do is come out here to the range, check our zero, make sure the rifle's shooting where we want it, and that's the first step.
This week, John is hunting with a Bergara B14 HMR from the Adventure Armory. It's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor and topped with the Burris Eliminator 3 laser scope. The gun is shooting custom, hand-loaded Pendleton ammunition, and John is capable of making an accurate shot on a pronghorn antelope out to 750 yards. This week's Checking Zero is sponsored by the Adventure Armory, rifle, scope, and ammunition packages for hunters.
I'd say the baggage handlers didn't beat my rifle up too bad, but we'll see at 400 yards here. Well, we just shot out 200, 300, 400 yards. 3 shots, 3 hits. Feel confident that the rifle's zeroed. Didn't get messed with. I was confident with this rifle showing up. Bergara, Burris, Pendleton ammo is a tough combination to beat. So we're ready to roll on an antelope tomorrow.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Pendleton Ammunition, loading bullets, one round at a time. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Bergara Rifles, a passion for precision, every barrel, every rifle. In the open prairie, you have to use the topography to cover thousands of yards of open grasslands if you're going to get within rifle range of a pronghorn antelope buck. But there's more topography out there than you think, and it's relatively easy to get within rifle range if you use the rolling hills and the little gullies and draws that can hide your approach.
Out on the first morning, just amazing, expansive landscape, and kind of driving the perimeter of the unit. Looking back onto the unit, we spotted some goats off in the distance. So, got the spotting scopes out. We're going to take a closer look, see if there's anything we want to go after. Nice mature buck in there, and if so, we'll plan a stalk, and if not, we'll keep moving.
Got the two way down there.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty decent.
Nice job. He's walking the wrong way.
Is he going the wrong way now?
Yeah, he's right on the wrong side of the fence. Here.
I want that antelope. He looks super tall. Head down now, up now. Down. He keeps feeding back and forth each direction. Up. Looking off to our right.
Yeah, he's good. He's definitely good. Like maybe get on top of that hill and then just come in on above him.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking. Is like that.
Like that.
Okay, let's do.
So we spotted a good buck, nice and tall, good cutters, good mass. He's on the right unit, but the wrong property. It's all private land. So we need him to cross the fence line. Fortunately, a couple does crossed. Looks like he's probably gonna follow, so we made a plan for a stalk. We're gonna head back up to a different road, come in from a different angle, and hopefully we can cut him off, get a shot.
With a target buck in sight, you can focus on him. In this area, the pronghorn antelope won't leave unless you pressure them or you miss your shot. So John and his guide just need to be patient and wait for the right time to make a move. And I know that John will make the shot count when he gets that opportunity.
There.
Right side of the fence?
Yeah. We're just gonna have to get on that next hill.
Yeah. I can see him actually.
You like it?
I don't know if it's him specifically. Have his head down?
Yeah, he just picked it up.
I just can't get a read on him because he's through the grass.
He's coming this way.
He's coming this way?
Yeah. Here he comes, he's running. Both of them are running kind of right to us now.
Okay. I'm gonna get back over here. We have a couple options to try to make another stalk on this buck. We got down, we got in range, but we had some issues just getting set up for the shots. Just gonna be patient, not try to pressure it too hard. Hopefully he pops out in front of us and we can get a shot. That's gotta be the one we saw skyline. Is that him?
I don't know if that's him, but that's one of them.
Yeah, probably. So we found the smaller of those two bucks that we saw in the initial stalk. He's not a bad buck. got good length, he's got good hooks, but he's the smaller of the two, so we're trying to find the bigger one right now. We think there's a cut in between these hills. We're trying to find him. We haven't put eyes on him yet, so he's got to be in here somewhere. We drove to a different part of the property, and we spotted a buck, and immediately, I mean, he was far away, but immediately what you saw was just black. You could tell this was a buck. Couldn't tell his length specifically, couldn't tell his cutter specifically, but you know, even from far away, when you see that much black on top of their head, there's a lot of mass.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Burris Optics. Find what matters. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Marathon Seat Covers. We've got you covered. These hunts are not physically demanding. They are relatively easy and anyone can enjoy a pronghorn antelope hunt. The guides use the trucks to cover thousands of acres of private lands, navigating the outskirts of each property and glassing from high points or on top of the trucks to see thousands of yards into the sections of land where the pronghorn are spotted. This region of New Mexico is a checkerboard of both private and publicly owned lands, and knowing where you are at all times is critical because the landowner voucher that you're carrying is only valid for that landowner's tracts of property. This makes knowing exactly where you are critical. For this reason, we always use the FarWide app on our smartphones. It turns our smartphone into a GPS that gives us information like the landowner information, exact property lines and boundaries, as well as the hunting and fishing regulation and unit boundaries for the area where we're hunting. The FarWide app allows us to go into the field with outdoor intelligence in the palm of our hand.
So we're just driving down the road. We saw a group of antelope cross, and didn't think there was anything in it. And then right as we came across them, we saw a nice big heavy buck, good character, nice cutters, nice mass. And he's a buck. We're going to take him if we can get a shot. So just trying to plan that out right now, figure out if we want to, go on down the road or get set up right here, see what we can do.
They're just going to go further onto this?
Yep.
On the highway.
Circle around. Yeah. Okay. Well, got a bunch of antelope. And if they were standing on this side of the fence, we could take one of these bucks. We've got one that's really tall, really good cutters. We've got another mature buck with a lot of mass. So I'll be happy to shoot either, but I think if we have our choice, I'm gonna go with the one with more mass. But this is all private land here. So you gotta be very sensitive to property lines and make sure you're adhering to the rules. So we need them to come this way.
He's really massy. I mean, he's a good buck.
Yeah. Let's hope he comes this way.
I think he will.
John and his guides are always making sure that they are exactly where they're supposed to be at all times. And sure enough, the herd of antelope that they were watching was bumped by hunters on the neighboring property and across the fence onto the ranch where he was hunting.
The wind isn't ideal necessarily for a long shot, but the sun's been beating down on us pretty hard. So, and we got into some gnats when we got over here. So, wind pushing the gnats away and the sun going away and making it nice and cool for us is okay in my book. Which one?
Oh, straight ahead of us?
Yep.
Right down here.
That looks like by far the biggest one.
They formulated a plan to follow the antelope across the pasture and then let them settle down before attempting a stalk. But a little later, when they caught up to them and closed the distance, the big buck was nowhere to be found.
How far?
6
There's the one on the left. Found that big herd and trying to get eyes on one of the bigger bucks, but he's not in there. So we lost them for about an hour and a half. He must have broken off some does or done something, but I don't think the shooter we want is here.
And so the sun set on John's day of antelope hunting in New Mexico. But they knew that the big buck was out there and felt confident that they would locate him the next day.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by the Far Wide app. Outdoor intelligence in the palm of your hand.
This segment is sponsored by Adventure Armory. Rifle, scope, and ammunition packages shipped, ready to shoot. If you'd like to book this week's adventure for yourself, give our office a call. We will gladly take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing adventure of a lifetime.
So we're driving around that same area that we were yesterday. Just spotted 2 really nice bucks. Once again, though, they're back on the state land. So same issue we ran into yesterday. We need to move off. Exciting start to the morning, though. We already spotted a coyote, smoked him. So we're doing our part in keeping the antelope population healthy. So
Part of being a good conservationist and hunter is being willing to take part in predator control. And John started off the next day by hammering a coyote, the #1 predator of antelope fawns.
Whatever. I mean, we beat.
at the shop?
Yeah.
Want to head over there?
The guys spent the first part of the morning cruising around the perimeter of the pasture where they felt the big buck would be found. On a 3-day hunt, you have plenty of time to find a good buck. And John was determined to be patient.
Yeah, I did it just because he's over the knoll. He's on us. Not right. We knew that coming from the highway side, there was an opportunity to get into one of the sections, near a corral fence. And we knew there was an old water tank we had hiked to the day before, and actually spooked, a whole bunch of goats at that point. So we figured if he joined that herd, if we could get to that water tank, we would have a chance at him, and we'd have something to, break it up so that we could make an approach. And we were able to, get to that water tank, keeping it between us and the big herd. We saw him coming in to meet them, and we ended up with a shot at 580 yards. So we just we spotted that buck coming back again. Drove to the corrals. Drove the truck along the fence line. And stalked up to that water tank we were at yesterday. They started to spook a little bit, but they didn't run off too far. We think we're on him. We gotta get it set up.
After covering miles of dirt roads and glassing dozens of antelope, they finally found the big buck.
Yep, he's the back one of the three.
I've practiced that shot quite a bit. I was comfortable shooting out further than that, and that's important. You need to be practiced, and you need to be confident in what you're doing.
I can't even get a range on him.
The buck was way out across the open prairie and feeding, unaware of John, laying prone and rock steady. Using the Burris Eliminator laser scope, John ranged the buck at 579 yards, got the lit aiming point and windage offset, elevated the lit aiming point to the buck's vitals,
I think I'm gonna take the shot.
and squeezed the trigger.
Way to go, guys. That was amazing. Great stalk.
When you shoot an animal almost 6 NFL football fields away, you have a lot of time to reflect back on the hunt. Not just the shot, but the journey, the people you're with, and the whole experience. And enjoy that walk across the open prairie to claim your prize. For John, this was another great experience for him to add to an already amazing year. Sure, we're enduring a global pandemic that has rocked our world. But in the last 12 months, John's journey has been a wild ride, full of adventures that he will likely never forget. And I know that he is already thinking about his return to Alaska and the grizzly bear that awaits him.
Well, we got it done down here in New Mexico on my goat. Time to go help Adam out. He was an amazing spotter, so we're gonna return the favor, obviously. And what an incredible country, incredible animal. Very thankful right now, and you know, we're only part of the SOA team. Steve's out in California right now, and I wonder how they're doing. So best of luck to them.
If you've ever wanted to book a pronghorn antelope hunt or any other hunting or fishing adventure, give our office a call. We're always available to take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing adventure of a lifetime. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But please, remember to join us again next week when we bring you another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.